All right, so what is up, everyone? I'm actually gonna be debating a Protestant. Um, we had to make some adjustments, so he's gonna be unfortunately not speaking, but he's just gonna be typing his arguments in the chat box. So if you see someone named Nahum in the chat box, that's the opponent. He's gonna be the one who's arguing. So yeah. Nebiu, what is up? What is up, Nebiu? I'm good. I'm good. We are still waiting on Nahum, so please stay tuned. Yosef, what is good? What's good, Yosef? Do you know if Nahum got in or not? We still waiting on him. All right, good, good, good. In the meantime, we'll be waiting. All right, Nahum, what's good? What's good? How are you doing? How are you doing, Nahum? All right, good, good, good. All right, so Nahum, I'ma let you speak first. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. All right. So the first topic we have is the Eucharist. All right. So because you're a guest, I'm gonna let you address your points first. So um, by all means, go ahead. Ask any questions or arguments or anything. All right. Take your time. Take your time. Okay. So here's the thing. The Orthodox Church, more specifically the Oriental Orthodox Church, we believe that the Eucharist is the true, it's literally the body and blood of Christ, right? We don't believe it's symbolically the body and blood of Christ. We believe it is actually the body and blood of Christ. Like literally. Not just spiritually, like physically too. So the Protestant view on this is that the Eucharist is merely symbolic. It's merely a symbol. Like it's merely done to remember Christ's sacrifice. And we believe that this is contrary to what Christ has commanded. So, because you are a Protestant, I'm assuming you adhere to this belief. So, what are your thoughts on the Eucharist? I'll wait for you to respond. Nahum, are you still here? Hello, yo. I think he's typing. You don't have any thoughts. Okay, but I'm asking you, what is your stance on the Eucharist? Because this was the first topic we agreed on. So, is it that you don't know what the Eucharist is? I'm kind of confused because yeah, the Eucharist. Joseph brought up a good point. The Eucharist is the core part of the entire service, right? A church with no Eucharist has no sacrifice, and without a sacrifice, there's no worship. So, if the Protestant church doesn't truly believe this, then it cannot be considered worship, and whatever they do, whatever they call their worship service is merely praise, or at the highest we would say. So the Eucharist is the essential part of everything. Without the Eucharist, there's no worship. So okay. Um. So you don't know what the Eucharist is, okay? Or you didn't learn about it. I mean, the whole point of this was to come prepared, but I guess we can move on to the next topic. All right. I believe the next topic was veneration, right? So in the Orthodox Church, we believe in saint veneration, right? It does not mean that we worship the saints. It means we give honor, we give praise, and we give glory to the saints because they have done wonders and they have done the work of God. So, what are your stance on veneration and saint intercession? We also believe that the saints can intercede for us. That means they can pray to God for us. Yeah. So now I know you have a stance on the saints because you slandered us about it before. I'll wait for you to respond. All right. All right, so how come in the second commandment? Okay, I mean that wasn't even my question, but I could answer that anyways. So second commandment, you're right. It says not to worship anything created. All right, that's we don't do that at all. Like you brought up a point that we do believe. We do not worship images, and we do not worship creation. Right? There's a distinct difference between veneration and offering worship. As I mentioned earlier when I was talking about the Eucharist is the core part of the church, right? The Eucharist is a sacrifice offered up to the Father. So the Eucharist is our worship. We don't offer the Eucharist to any of the saints. We don't offer it to Mary. We don't offer it to any of the saints or the righteous. We only offer it to the God, right? So, with that being said, when you see us kissing or when you see us bowing down in front of an icon, that is not an act of worship, right? It is not an act of worship because we see in Joshua chapter 7 that before the Ark of the Covenant with the two cherubim statues, we see Joshua prostrating. And if you don't know what prostrating is, it's essentially bowing down and coming up again and bowing down and so on, right? It's not an act of worship, it's an act of veneration, it's an act of showing respect for something. So when you say the second commandment says not to worship anything created, you're absolutely right. We don't do that. So it doesn't really make sense why you're bringing that up because we've specifically stated and we believe that we do not worship anything created. So any thoughts on that? Why are there depictions of Christ when we don't know what he looks like? All right, so let me ask you this. You see paintings of historical figures, you see paintings of Julius Caesar and so on, but do we ourselves know what Julius Caesar really looked like, right? So the point isn't to match the description. The point of an icon is not to perfectly match the description of something. The point is to represent that figure, right? So when you see us making icons of Christ and the saints, right? We're not saying this is exactly what we look like. It's a representation, right? It's not supposed to be an identical copy. It's supposed to be a representation of who they are. Like when you see Christ on the cross, right? It's not an exact copy. It's not an identical photograph. It's a representation of his sacrifice. So the point of an icon is to represent something, not to make it identical. And we can we actually like stick with the topic about saint veneration, right? Because now we're getting into icons, right? All right, so if you don't know about a certain topic, I kind of don't understand why would you agree to a debate? And you've made points against the church in Discord so many times. So why don't you bring those points up here? Like you say all these things in Discord and such, but why don't you say it here? By the way, guys, my phone's at 5%. Just FYI. We can still debate. No, I don't have a charger. But I think we got like 20 more minutes before my phone dies. Since Nahum doesn't really like know much of these topics, I think we can finish by then. So Nahum, I'm waiting for you to bring up a point about the Saints. These are the main points. These are the main points. This is the second topic that was agreed on. We're going in order of the topics that we agreed on. If you want to see the topics, if you already forgot what you agreed on, you can check my community post. So I'm kind of waiting. I really don't got a lot of time. Okay, if you don't know about these topics, that's fine. Like, we can put those aside. So what topics do you actually have an argument for? And by the way, another thing about saint veneration, right? So in the book of Joshua, right, an angel appears to Joshua, and Joshua actually bows before the angel of the Lord as an act of prostration, as an act of veneration, right? That's just the point I wanted to bring up. Now, do you have a topic? If you guys want to look at the verse, it's Joshua chapter 5, verse 14. I can read it. Where is it? It says, he said to him, I am now come the chief captain of the host of the Lord. Then Joshua fell on his face upon the earth, so that's bowing, right? And said to him, O master, what do you command your servant? So Joshua is bowing to an angel, right? Bowing is not itself an act of worship, right? Because we see people throughout the Bible bow to kings like David and Solomon, and we see over here that Joshua is bowing to an angel. So it's a sign of respect. It's a sign of veneration. It's an act of. I didn't mean to say sign. I'm an act of veneration. Okay, let's read this. Why is Mary so significant in Orthodoxy? Because she is the mother of God, right? Mary is the mother of God, and we believe that she was sanctified by the Holy Spirit. She was chosen, right? It wasn't she was just a regular person, and then suddenly the Lord just found this random person. She was chosen at the time of her birth. She was chosen actually since the beginning of all creation to become the mother of God. right? Mary, we also, because she is the mother of God, she is placed at the highest level of veneration in our church, right? Out of all the saints. That's why one of a name for her is the mother of all saints, because she bore Emmanuel in her womb. It seems like in Orthodox they make it feel like she's more significant. We do not we okay, let me tell you this now. We do not place Mary above Christ, right? It seems like you're not knowledgeable about a lot of these, right? It seems like you're not knowledgeable enough. I was hoping like maybe you'd research before this debate, but I'll just explain it anyways. So we view Christ as God, right? I don't know if you know what we say in the liturgy, but I guarantee you 90% of it, 90% of it is about the Eucharist and our sacrifice to God, right? And it's about Christ being the Savior, right? So, and then there are minor parts where we ask Mary for intercession and the saints for intercession, but the vast majority of it is about Christ and God, right? And who do we offer worship to? We offer worship to Christ, right? Because the Eucharist is our sacrifice, and the Eucharist is worship. So we don't offer worship, we don't offer the Eucharist to Mary. We don't offer any worship to Mary, right? So the fact that you're saying that we put Mary at a higher pedestal than Christ is not true. Yeah, good. Another good thing that Yosef brought up today is actually the Feast of the Assumption of Mary into Heaven. And a little background, what was today is when we commemorate when Mary was assumed into heaven, right? Because she was perfect, because she did not sin, she didn't die like a regular human did, right? Her body was assumed into heaven. Give me reasons why orthodoxy is the okay, so I addressed all your claims, and I'm kind of going to need a response to those claims because this is a debate, right? This isn't Discord where you get to change the topic multiple times, right? I'm not going to allow that here, right? So, in a debate, there are topics. It's not just answer this question, I answer it, and then you don't address that answer at all and you just move on, right? That's not how it works here, okay? And I gave you reasons like throughout this debate. So your question makes it seem like you weren't paying attention or something. I kind of need to hurry up. My charger is running out by the minute, so. Yeah, now if you come to a debate unprepared, right? Like this doesn't make any sense. Like you keep saying you don't know everything, so I really don't know what to say to you. Like if you have no knowledge on anything, if you have no knowledge on anything, I don't see the point of this debate. I'll come back when I'm okay, bro. You know what? Yeah, I'll just end this debate. Like it seems like you don't know anything about this, bro. Like you're not prepared, mind you. You're 6 years older than me, maybe more than that. But You come to a debate unprepared. Like you're saying I'm a come back when I'm prepared. Like what are you saying, bro? Like why would you agree to a debate, bro? Like this is just it's ridiculous, bro. All right, but anyways, I think this debate is pretty much over. So, God bless everyone. Um, I hope you guys have a good day, and maybe in the future, when Nahum gets all his facts right, we'll debate again, but probably not likely. But Nahum, just please educate yourself. Please stop slandering the Orthodox Church when you don't know anything about it, when you've never been to Kandase before, when you don't understand anything that is happening. Please stop slandering the Tawado faith. Okay. Just if you don't know about it, if you don't know about something, just don't talk about it. Like if you don't know about a specific thing, don't slander it. Don't talk about it. Like if I know nothing about math, I'm not gonna act like I'm a professor, right? So I'm not gonna debate you. I'm probably not even gonna debate you again. Um, just don't talk about orthodoxy anymore. All right. I'm gonna end this live stream. So, peace. Let me just figure out how to. All right.